Good evening, everybody. This is Eureka John with Eureka Street Crypto Hub, coming at you at 10:13 p.m. on the 12th of January 2021. This year has already started out pretty crazy, and hey, whatever. Today I'm going to do another project-based broadcast, and we are going to get into Waves Tech. I don't really know why I chose this one. I was doing a broadcast several episodes back on oracles, and I came across Gravity, and that's part of Waves, the whole Waves Tech ecosystem. And I looked at it, and it looked pretty cool. And I'm a sucker for graphics and good marketing and clean websites and stuff like that. I'm an old skateboarder, and I admit back in the 1980s and 90s, I would buy boards for the graphics, and most people don't want to admit that they did, but they did. And so it's kind of the same way with some of these projects. I like it for the graphics, but no, seriously as well. A lot of craziness is going on with Bitcoin and with all the other cryptos right now, with Bitcoin and Ethereum specifically having a huge dip, and there's a lot of new people to the crypto space in the past month or so, ever since Bitcoin decided it wanted to shoot up and hit $40,000, and I think it even got up to maybe $42,000 or $43,000 if I'm correct. I don't pay that close attention. I mean, yes, I do look every day, but I'm not like some of these people on here doing technical analysis. It's not what I do. I am in it for the tech. I really am. I am investing. I'm not trader. I'm a dollar cost averager, and I'm investing in the tech. I'm investing in Web 3.0. I feel like this is where all this is going, and this is why I love covering all these different projects, because these are just different ways of approaching Web 3.0 and different developments. If you're not really familiar with what Web 3.0 is, Web 1.0 is basically just your static websites. Back in the 90s, the early 90s, you would have your HTML code and a couple pictures up there saying, this is our company, this is who we are, this is, and that's it. About us, location, products, and that's it. Just a display. Web 2.0 incorporated some interactivity with the user. So the user, like Facebook is a prime example of Web 2.0. MySpace, anything where you can kind of create your own data and put it on and create your own version of that page. WordPress is another example, creating your own blog engine on WordPress, and all that is examples of Web 2.0, and all that information that you store on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, and all that stuff, that's all that is uploaded to one centralized server and one centralized data place. And all this stuff going on with Donald Trump and him being deleted from Twitter, and all the controversy. I'm not going to say what side I'm on. I don't really care. I do see, though, however, a strong use case for decentralization, and that's where Web 3.0 comes into place. All that data that we put up on the web on Web 3.0 would be decentralized, and it would not be on one specific server. It'd be on thousands of nodes all over the world. And so there's no one place where any one centralized entity could delete any of that data. And so what you put up on there would permanently be up on there, as long as one of the thousands of nodes are running around the world. So and also Web 3.0 allows wallets to be made into your website. It just, there's so much to Web 3.0, and it's decentralization on the blockchain is basically the foundational concept that you need to know of what Web 3.0 is. So my interest in all this stuff and in crypto is not really on trying to make a quick buck. And if I do make some money, which I am, and that's great, my main priority is to be ahead of the curve and learning about Web 3.0 technology. So that's why I'm here, and this is why I'm covering these projects. This is why I'm covering waves today. The last episode I did Dogecoin. That was fun. I love Dogecoin. It got me into crypto. Because before that, I had to take a breather. I did Cardano, and that was another heavy topic and just real big and huge and hard to wrap your head around. So, did Dogecoin, had some fun, and here I am, back at something heavy. Waves is a huge, huge, huge project and ecosystem. And I mean, when I looked at Gravity, and then I tried to look at the rest of the Waves website, and I've seen some Waves price action in the past few months, and I was just like, man, this is a lot to cover, a lot to try to wrap my head around. And as I'm going to explain this, I'm really probably going to do a poor job at it. And, I'm not here to be super professional and to be Mr. Teacher, like an in-depth guy, like Guy from Coin Bureau or Chico Crypto. I'm here to just kind of talk about it as a person who's discovering this just like you as well. We're going to go through the website and look at just some concepts surrounding it. I'm not going to do a deep dive or an analysis of it or tell you whether you should or should not invest. That's up for you to decide. I'm here to just help people entering the crypto space kind of understand some of these topics, and as well to kind of walk with you as I explore some of these topics as well, and learn to grasp it. And I'm just kind of documenting my journey along the way through this. So here we go. So let's take a look at Waves. Let me open up my browser. Let me get that up here. Put it up over these logos. Bam. And let me get these logos out of the way. So Neutrino is one part of the Waves ecosystem. Gravity is as well. And we'll get to that in a second. First, that's my Ethereum mining pool. All right, let me get that out of the way. All right. Okay, so Waves Technologies. Here's the website. It's a pretty cool website. I like it. Innovations of tomorrow for people today, right? Market speak and all that. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Waves, Gravity, and Neutrino are the three main components, and as you can see, there's a lot of stuff here. You have the Waves Exchange, which consists of these four parts right here. There's a Neutrino protocol, which is kind of a stable coin tokenization, a way you can stake. It's an automatic market maker, which is kind of like a Uniswap type of swap mechanism. So you can swap the tokens back and forth between different other types of tokens. Then here we have the actual Waves protocol, and that also includes staking. The dApps. dApps are decentralized applications. Some people think that dApps are specifically only for iPhones and Androids. No, dApps are basically anything that incorporates Web 3.0. So a dApp could be a website, or it could be an app or a game on your phone. It can be anything that incorporates Web 3.0 or a wallet on the website or something like that. Any type of blockchain interaction, that makes it a dApp, a decentralized application. So yeah, a website on the blockchain that uses the blockchain as its backbone. We have the RIDE, which is their smart contract language, kind of like Solidity is for Ethereum, and we'll get into all that. It has staking on it, smart assets, the SDK, software development kit for developers who want to build dApps on top of the Waves blockchain, and then leased proof of stake. Leased proof of stake is kind of weird. Proof of stake is a way of creating blocks for the blockchain. If you're mining, you have a computer solving algorithms, and that's proof of work, and that's the other end of proof of stake. So you have proof of work and proof of stake, and then there's some smaller ways of creating blockchains, but this particular blockchain is based on proof of stake, and that depends on people staking their tokens and creating blockchains through their the amount of tokens that they've staked. I mean, to put it as simply as possible, versus proof of work, where your computer does a lot of work and solves for algorithms and hashes in order to win, to create a block and win an award that way. So that's about as basic as I can put it. I mean, and there's so much literature out there on all this stuff. You can just Google proof of work versus proof of stake, and there's tables and diagrams and tons of people speaking about it. I don't need to sit here and try to explain that for you. But just know that this blockchain is based on least proof of stake, which is in proof of stake you have nodes where you stake your tokens to, and it requires a minimum, and I believe the minimum is pretty high. I think it's about 10,000 Waves tokens, which is a lot of money. They may have dropped it. I'll go into this here in a second, but least proof of stake is a way you can participate in that without running the full node yourself or having to have 10,000 of those tokens, so which is good. Then you have over here, you have the Waves Enterprise branch, and that's mainly for enterprise, big business. A lot of people want their own custom blockchain, and Waves Tech will do this. And then over here you have the Gravity protocol, which is basically kind of like Chainlink meets Polkadot. Okay, so Chainlink brings data from off the chain, say weather data, sports data, price feeds, for exchanges. I don't know, maybe your car has road data from the suspension that it needs to upload to a blockchain. I mean, there's so many different use cases, and that's what an oracle is, and this is one of the functions of the Gravity protocol. However, the Gravity protocol does more than just bring in off-chain data. It can also act as a parachain, kind of like Polkadot, in which it can get various blockchains to interact with each other. Because think about it, in super layman's terms, you have Apple programs and Windows programs, and Mac programs and Windows programs, and they won't interact well with each other. That is what something like Gravity could do between two very different blockchains that may not be compatible. They can get them to kind of work together. Quant kind of does something like this. It's another project that creates what they call an overledger, and it's kind of an umbrella over two separate blockchains that kind of bridges the gap between those. So it can this Gravity protocol can bring in off-chain data, and it can act as a bridge between two different blockchains. So forgive me if I'm not explaining that correctly, but in my terms, I think that's about the best I can do. Anyway, there's a whole lot of stuff going on with Waves. You have the basic Waves tech. You have a Waves campus coming soon. There's a lot of different ways you can learn about Waves. There's free courses that you can do if you're interested in becoming a Waves developer, a RIDE developer. This is a smart contract language. And if you have previous coding skills or development skills, that's great. But even if you don't, they'll still accept you. Let me see here. There are courses. Chico Crypto does a really good video on Waves where he points out this. I mean, obviously he's paid on this video to talk about it, but it doesn't matter, whatever. Coursera has this free course. So you can learn about Waves and mastering Web 3.0 with Waves here. And you can learn the RIDE smart contract language. Then there's another one, stepic.org. And there's a free course here as well. And as you can see, here's Chico Crypto's video on it. I like Chico Crypto. He goes real deep. Dude's a smart kid. And check out his Waves video. It's really good. And also Guy at Coin Bureau on YouTube. He does a great video on Waves as well. You can learn a whole bunch of different stuff. The course is aimed at developers and IT professionals interested in acquiring a hands-on knowledge of Web 3.0 technology, such as blockchain, dApps, and decentralization. They primarily invite front-end developers, webmasters, and full-stack developers indie games, iOS, Android developers to join us. Freelancers and those working for developers or studios are also welcome to apply. But I mean, if you show a genuine interest, they'll probably, I mean, just, the course would probably help if you knew some of this stuff, but you can also jump in and learn pretty quickly a lot of these concepts. The Waves website, let me see here. They have a really Waves is kind of meant to be for blockchain for everybody. It is where is it? They aren't just trying to be hyper focused on the people who already know pretty much everything there is to know about blockchain technology. They really want to reach out to people who don't know that much about what blockchain technology is. So Waves Tech has Waves 101 here. And they just go through here. Waves 101. What is Web 3.0? What is trustless model? What is blockchain? What is a seed phrase? Private and public keys. And the seed phrase is essential for setting up a wallet. What are dApps? I mean, these are all questions that I had when I first started learning about crypto and blockchain. All these words just being thrown out, and I had no. I mean, I've said this in pretty much every video. It's just like learning a new language, and you just have to immerse yourself in it. But Waves breaks it down pretty well. Here, dApps, a centralized application, or dApp, is an application whose backend code runs on a blockchain. Simply stated, it is blockchain-based online service. There's no centralized database or hack to be compromised. dApps combine all the advantages of online services with complete control of your data. Everyone can build and use dApps. Basically, it's a website that is decentralized on the blockchain. Here we go. What is a blockchain? I mean, it gets really basic. So it's good stuff. Does Waves have SDK? How to get Waves? Which wallets are there? They go to Waves Exchange, Wave FX, and Sign. What is RIDE? RIDE is a smart contract language. RIDE is Waves' functional, purpose-designed smart contract language for dApp development, designed for applying scripts to assets and accounts on the Waves blockchain, as well as creating sophisticated programmable logic for the decentralized environment. There's a whole Q&A session there. Talks about gravity here. The USDN, which is the stable coin, US dollar neutrino. So there's a lot of stuff to go over here. I don't want to make this video too long, but I do need to touch on some of this stuff. Let's get back to the main website. I want to talk about, let's go into Waves first. Go into Waves Tech and the Waves protocol. All right, so Waves is a blockchain. And it is a proof of stake blockchain. And it's a blockchain that you can write smart contracts on. You can write smart contracts on a lot of different blockchains right now. Let me pull these notes out. Right now, there's tons of different smart contract platforms. There's Ethereum uses the Solidity language. Cardano uses the Plutus language. Zilliqa uses the Skilla language. Tezos uses the Michelson language. Let me think here. I know there's tons of others. Polkadot doesn't really have smart contracts, but they have something called WASM, W-A-S-M. Let's see. That's all I can think of right off the top of my head, really. The notes helped a little bit, but I didn't take good notes. Let me see here. Yeah, and then, so anyway, the smart contract language for Waves is supposed to be really easy compared to Solidity. Solidity itself is kind of cumbersome. It is a Turing complete language, and that is where RIDE is a non-Turing complete language, and I'm going to explain that here. This is, I knew some basics of how to build websites and stuff like that before, but I didn't really know a whole lot about computer science, and so I didn't really know what Turing complete versus non-Turing complete is. And apparently Turing complete, it's basically a limitless loop it contains limitless loop functions that could theoretically work on a computer with unlimited RAM on there, unlimited power. So if you were to run an unlimited loop, it would take up all your computer space and so on and so forth. Okay, so that is a Turing complete language. It signifies a complete programming language with everything you would possibly need in order to run a program, to put it in the most basic terms that I know how. A non-Turing complete does not have those loop functions in there. So here we go. The RIDE smart contract language. The smart contract language RIDE is non-Turing complete, meaning it does not include certain infinite functions that have proven to be a weakness in poorly coded Solidity smart contracts. So what happened with the MakerDAO hack at the very beginning of Ethereum is somebody found an exploit, and they could, I think it was called a re-entrancy exploit or something like that, and they found a way to exploit the smart contract on Ethereum, and they were able to suck a bunch of money out. That they found the exploit in the Turing complete function of the Ethereum. The actual Ethereum language worked as it should, but they found that exploit because it was a Turing complete language. However, people say that Solidity is great because it is a Turing complete language and it has all the features that any programmer could ever want. I did find a great article on hackernoon.com. Let's see here. Well, yeah, so let me X this out and get to the top. Should smart contracts be non-Turing complete? Then they go through here and they explain what Turing complete is. So go to hackernoon.com, should smart contracts be non-Turing complete? And you can find this article just by Googling that. And it just explains to you what Turing completeness is. If you don't have any idea what Turing complete is, I'm going to give you a brief explanation, keep you up to date. It talks about Alan Turing, who created a theoretical machine called the Turing machine. The mythical machine has access to an infinite amount of RAM and runs using a finite program that determines when it should read, write, and move within its memory. Its programming also dictates under what conditions it should terminate and what it should do next. Programming languages that fit these conditions are known as Turing complete languages. So Turing completes can implement any computable function. It always has a function that won't terminate by itself, and it has a function that theoretically could use an infinite amount of memory. All right. So a Turing complete language is basically the Swiss Army knife. It's a catch-all for anything you would ever want to do for a computer. However, smart contracts, do they really need to be Turing complete? And this is what the developers of RIDE, the Waves smart contract language, took into account. And I believe the Zilliqa team also took this into account when they made Skilla, also a non-Turing complete language. Let's see, here we go. In the Ethereum that allowed the DAO hack to happen, it called a recursive call exploit, the possibility of attacking poorly implemented smart contracts, re-entrancy attacks, and the fact that these fees cannot be accurately predicted thanks to recursion. These things only exist because Solidity is a Turing complete language. So that Ethereum hack happened because it was a Turing complete language. So they did a study in Germany, and they did a study of tons of different smart contracts, and they analyzed how many of those smart contracts in the code would really need a Turing complete programming language, and they found out that really only 7% of all the smart contracts really could use a Turing complete language. And then on top of that, they found that the smart contracts that needed the Turing complete code, they could figure out ways to get around it to create Turing complete smart contracts within the code and within the language, within the program. So you have the non-Turing complete language, and then you can create a Turing complete smart contract within the non-Turing complete language. Is kind of the gist of it. That's the way I understood it anyway. Okay, so now let's see here. Okay, Here he goes on to say, the reason I bring this up is because Waves is a strong company doing serious things. It makes their Solidity alternative a significant contender for dApp developers. Let's see here. Ride is purposely a non-Turing complete language that is designed for developers to build smart contracts in a no-nonsense environment. Ride takes a two-prong approach to this. First, their language provides the basic scripting functionality necessary to create dApps. Secondly, because the language does not support any recursion or complex loops, it can be easily tested for security flaws. So it's real easy to test because it doesn't have the extra complexity that Turing complete languages throw in there. So you may be thinking that because Ride is purposely non-Turing complete, that it can't handle the majority of smart contracts being written. Remember that study from earlier, the one with the German computer scientists? Less than 7% of tested smart contracts used a loop and needed Turing complete to run. And then it goes on, so that 7% of dApps that required Turing complete smart contracts could theoretically, according to the paper, self-reproducing coins as universal Turing machine, could be served by implementing Turing complete features across many different transactions. In their study, they were able to construct a simple Turing complete machine by using a small specific set of language features that utilized the UTXO model. These transactions were heavily restricted by both input and output transaction states for safety, and both unbounded and infinite loops were intentionally impossible to trigger in their case. In the same way, Ride, as a non-Turing complete programming language, can be used to write Turing complete smart contracts without the issues that an underlying Turing complete programming language can bring. So yeah, I mean, you don't need to have a Turing complete language, and I think that's pretty cool that they can create a safer language. And here they quote Vitalik Buterin saying Turing incompleteness is not even that big of a limitation. Out of all the contract examples we have conceived internally, so far only one required a loop, and even that loop could be removed by making 26 repetitions of a one-line piece of code. Given the serious implications of Turing completeness and the limited benefit, why not simply have a Turing incomplete language? In reality, however, Turing incomplete is far from a neat solution to the problem. So anyway, I got completely sidetracked on this whole Turing complete stuff from the Waves Tech platform, but I just think it's fascinating because every single time I dig into these projects, I learn something new about computer science or game theory or economics or something. I mean, this is just why I study blockchain, and this is pretty rad. Now I know what Turing complete is. I saw that buzzword being thrown around by a bunch of different marketers, and I'm a marketer myself, and I know how much marketers love their buzzwords, but I try not to be your typical marketer and just throw it around without really kind of understanding what it is. And here's a whole paper that they referred to on pdian.com blog, Chasing the DAO Hacker's Wake. And it goes in and breaks down the whole Ethereum Solidity DAO hack that happened a while back when Ethereum was just beginning. But anyway, back to Waves Tech. So you have the Ride smart contract language. You have leased proof of stake, which is an enhanced proof of stake consensus algorithm that allows you to lease your tokens to a Wave node, earning a percentage of the node payout. Leasing, in other words, allows leasing pools to generate blocks on behalf of your tokens while funds remain under user's control and don't leave their account. Leasing proof of stake allows owners to lease their tokens to a Waves node and earn a percentage of the node payout as a reward. By using leased proof of stake, leasers will be able to participate in the process of generating new blocks, since the larger amount that is leased to a Waves node, the higher the chances for that node to be selected will generate the next block. So it goes into depth of the leasing. Basically, what I was saying earlier, I believe it costs quite a bit to run your own node in order to find blocks and get the blocks rewards. But this is a way for everybody to participate, even if they don't have tons of the Waves tokens. So that's kind of the gist of it. There's a whole bunch of details you can go into it in the Waves docs. I'm not going to go into all those details for time. I just completely went off track about the Turing thing. Let me see. All right, so that's that. Here are a bunch of the different dApps created. On dapocean.io, you can see a bunch of dApps created on the Waves blockchain. Really, honestly, there's not a whole lot right now. Waves needs some adoption. Most dApps right now are made on Ethereum. That's just a fact. There's a bunch of contenders like Cardano, Polkadot, all these different protocols are trying to have dApps being built on top of them. We'll see if that happens. But I believe in the future, yes, Ethereum will still remain king, but there will be room for dApps on everything. I mean, this Waves platform already has some pretty predictive art that looks pretty cool. You know, I'm into art. It's kind of like an art auction place. And let's see what we have. Waves roulette. And there's a bunch of other stuff made on top of the Waves platform. There's this SwapFi, and I can get into this pretty deeply. This is kind of like a Uniswap, but on the Waves platform. Let's see here. But anyway, I did want to get real quickly before I get into SwapFi. I want to get into a little criticism of this ecosystem and of the dApps and stuff like that. I read a really interesting criticism on a YouTube comment. I believe it was on Chico Cryptos. No, it was on Guy at Coin Bureau. And somebody criticized it saying, I think this is about Waves. It said, I think it's way overvalued. Nobody uses it. And in fact, I think almost all the major interoperability plays are overvalued due to rampant speculation that Waves, Icon, Cosmos, Polkadot, or others are going to become the backbone of the future internet and capture that value with their token. Is it possible that the protocol that everyone ultimately agrees to use for seamless distributed ledger technology interoperability will accrue to no value at all, like TCP/IP, for example? So is the winner of all these blockchain platforms, is it basically just going to end up having no value like TCP/IP? I mean, probably not, but that's an interesting question. And then he goes on to say, sure, Polkadot's ecosystem may ultimately produce some value, but its ability to connect all blockchains is limited by the fact that not everyone is going to be willing or able to bond in an exorbitant amount of DOT to establish a parachain. Perhaps Cosmos IBC is most likely to become the backbone of Web 3.0 at this stage, but it appears that the team at Cosmos would have to revamp their tokenomics strategy to really capture that value. And then he goes on to say, Quant Network is an interesting dark horse here. With the incredible tech, tokenomics, and partnership, I'm not really sure why nobody is talking about it, outside the fact that they've yet to open source to my knowledge. Blocknet is pretty cool too. I mean, it's a microcap with poor tokenomics as far as I can tell, but it's been around since 2014, seems very decentralized, and can connect any UTXO chain at present. I have massive respect for the team at the very least. Anyway, he's talking about all these different protocols trying to become the backbone of Web 3.0, trying to become the underlying technology in which all these dApps are made on, just like Ethereum is right now. So Waves is kind of a competitor to Ethereum. And he compares it to TCP/IP. All the websites and web addresses were built on the TCP/IP protocol. And in a way, all these protocols are trying to compete to be the backbone of all these dApps. And this is where Waves is now. They're trying to build up the ecosystem, gain adoption. As you can see, they only have 2 pages worth of dApps, so it's kind of overvalued at this moment. They need developers. They're pining for developers. They have free courses on Coursera and whatever that other one is I showed you, stepic.org. They need some people participating in it. But there's a lot of good stuff going on here. Here they have the Waves Exchange. I downloaded the Waves Keeper, and it's a browser extension, and it's just kind of like your MetaMask wallet. but it's on the Waves blockchain. And then here they have the Waves exchange. Let me go ahead and sign in to my Waves Keeper. You can't see that on your screen, but let me sign in the password. Alright, so enter that, and I'm going to go to my wallet here, and it opens up the Waves exchange. The Waves exchange is interesting. Jeez. Okay, hold on. Gotta put him. Alright. Okay, let me get in here. Okay. So, you can buy crypto from fiat on the exchange using your debit or credit card. You can buy the US dollar neutrino, and the neutrino is a stable coin. And a stable coin, for those of you who don't know, is always equal to $1. And there are mechanisms that allow that to happen and keep it stable. And so you can buy in and out of a stable coin in order to not have to transfer everything over to fiat, and that can take processing time and transaction fees and all types of pain in the ass and hassle to get anything in and out of actual US dollar or euro or whatever you're paying with to a crypto. So a stable coin is a good way to transfer that really quickly back and forth, and to always have some stable coins on hand to trade on a whim whenever you need it. And that's what the USDN is. Here you can buy with US dollar or British pounds or euro, all this other stuff. You can buy Bitcoin on here. There's OTC trading. I am not versed or don't know enough about it here. You can do leverage trading. I don't trade, so this is not my shtick. I barely know how to use these exchange sites. I just basically use Uniswap, or I just swap, or I just buy from fiat. I don't do anything fancy like that, so I'm not the best person to talk about this type of stuff. There are people that are, go through all this stuff, and there are websites. Let me see, Digital Asset News has a website called danteachescrypto.com, and it's a great place to learn just all about blockchain and crypto, but I believe he will also go through some of this stuff with you. There are good TA people on the internet. Let me think. The one that comes to my mind, I don't know. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them. Just do crypto technical analysis, and there's like a million YouTubers that come up. So yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff going on. There's another governance token that kind of helps to stabilize the automated market makers and the exchanges. So exchanges operate on an order book system, where if you have something like SwapFi, this is an automated market maker, which means that anybody can provide liquidity to it, and there's an automated algorithm that allows people to swap tokens back and forth. And here's the neutrino versus waves. You can swap Bitcoin. And then there is an NSBT token. And this is, okay, I have this page pulled up about it. This was a really hard one for me to wrap my head around. Let me get to this page. Nope. See, the Waves project used to only have a DEX, and then they created an exchange from the DEX. And so they canceled the DEX out of their ecosystem. This whole project, Waves Tech, started in 2016. And they had a DEX, decentralized exchange, and then they canceled that decentralized exchange, and they created the actual hybrid centralized exchange. And what that means, this exchange here lets you, because most centralized exchanges, you don't have the keys to your crypto, all right? This exchange is kind of a hybrid exchange in which you have the keys to your crypto, but you can still place in order on the order book. So, as in just like any other type of exchange, like Binance or Coinbase or Bittrex or whatever. So it acts like those exchanges, but you keep your keys. So that's kind of what I mean by a hybrid exchange. Now, if you go to something like a swap, like this, or like Uniswap, let me see. This is Uniswap is the Ethereum version, and this is what most people know when they think about decentralized exchanges. Make sure you go to uniswap.org and don't just Google Uniswap and go to a paid advertisement, because that will always be a scam. So make sure you go to the right Uniswap. But this is what it is you connect your MetaMask wallet up here, and then it allows you to swap different tokens back and forth. There's a whole bunch of options for Uniswap. So yeah, I'm not going to go in and show you how to use Uniswap, but there are other videos for that. There are tons of videos for that. There's a really great YouTuber called Finematics. Let me see here. Let me open this up and search for Finematic. And then we'll just do Uniswap. So Finematics is a great YouTuber and talks about impermanent loss, automated market makers. He talks about Uniswap. I think it would be great if Finematics would do something on Waves and not whole ecosystem, but he really focuses on decentralized exchanges. He's got really great videos. Check out Finematics on YouTube. Here's all his videos. He just gets into technical exchange and trading concepts, what DeFi is, Ethereum 2.0, quadratic funding, lending in DeFi explained. Yeah. So anyway, go to that, and then you'll better understand Uniswap, and then from there you can better understand what swap.fi is. And this is basically the Uniswap of Waves protocol. So it's built on top of the Waves blockchain. And anyway, Waves has 3 basic tokens. There's the Waves token, and which is the reward. I don't want to get it. Okay, there's the Waves token. Which is their token, and then is the USDN, which is their stable token. And then there's a third token over here. Oh man, I was just on it. Okay, called the NSBT, the Neutrino System Base Token, and this is a governance token. But what it really does, and I'm still wrapping my head around this. I need to do a lot more education on this, but at some point I just had to realize I just wanted to hurry up and just get a video up and just cover the basics. But if you really want to get into it, Neutrino System Based Token is a governance token that allows you voting rights on the Waves protocol to decide a whole bunch of different stuff about how the Waves protocol should operate. And then as well, the NSBT allows the Waves stablecoin and the Waves protocol token to kind of be stabilized. It adds to the stabilization of the exchange, I believe, and I believe it helps prevent impermanent loss. Now, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, and if anybody can do just like a tiny little couple sentence elevator pitch as to the difference of the stablecoin and this token that I just outlined, please do so. The Neutrino System Based Token. I'm kind of getting it in my head. I'm having a hard time vocalizing it. This is a tough one for me. So, but anyway, whatever. I gave it a try. There's a bunch of information on it. There are some really helpful graphics here that talk about the Neutrino System Based Token, and it explains all the dynamics of the supply and reserve and the burning and minting of all these tokens. But right now the supply of the Neutrino System Based Token is really low, and it will remain low. So potentially this could be one of those moonshot type tokens if you're really into looking at these really super small market cap moonshot type of tokens. Because if Waves hits like $10, then this neutrino system based token could maybe possibly go up to $50. And then maybe even more. Who knows? I don't know. But it has a really small market cap, and it is essential for the stabilization of the Waves tokenomics and ecosystem. And I'm not really sure how that works because I don't feel smart enough to really jump into all this stuff. I'll dig a little deeper and try to understand it better. All this is fascinating to me, but it's a tough one for me. Just look into it. Just know that there's three different basic type of tokens. There's the Waves token, there's the Waves stable token, the USDN, I believe, and then there's the NSBT token. And now we get to this, the SwapFi platform. They are going to be coming out with a swap token, and that as well is kind of like the Uniswap token, the Uni token, the 1 inch token. It's going to be basically the SwapFi token, and this is an opportunity for an airdrop. So I believe they are going to have an airdrop for all liquidity providers on the SwapFi platform. So this is also another type of Uniswap type of automated market maker, just like I went over before. And here you connect your Waves Keeper wallet or Waves Exchange just in the same way that you connect your MetaMask wallet on Uniswap. Over here you can see right here I have my wallet connected here, my MetaMask wallet on Uniswap. So in this swap.fi, I could connect my Waves Keeper wallet here, and here I have zero balance, but I just connected my Waves Keeper browser wallet right here, and I can swap between USDN and Waves, or I could swap between Waves and Bitcoin, NSBT and USDN, or NSBT and Bitcoin. Oh, can you do that? Let's see here. NSBT and I don't know. I'll have to poke around, but there's some really good information on it here. Here's a liquidity pool. You can provide liquidity, and then if you provide liquidity, then you can be part of this airdrop. So it might be worth your time if that's what you're into. I don't really provide liquidity onto any types of pools. I did one time on the Ocean Protocol data marketplace without really understanding it, and I completely got completely fell prey to, not prey because it's my fault, but like to impermanent loss, and yeah, so I don't even want to talk about it. So yeah, an automated market maker on the blockchain. It talks about swap.fi here on this Medium article, and it talks about the two different pool types in here. You can participate in the liquidity pool where it's like Uniswap and it's called a constant product market maker, or you can participate in the flat pool, which is in formula inspired by Curve. If you're worried about impermanent loss like I am, and that's basically where one token loses a bunch of value and then it creates you losing the liquidity that you provided having to compensate for the loss of the value of one of the tokens, and so you lose that amount. A flat pool type will not prevent it, but it'll avoid that, because stable coins are pegged to whatever asset that they're pegged to, and so they're not going to fluctuate much in value especially if it's pegged to something like the US dollar, which most stable coins are. A way to avoid impermanent loss is to jump into the flat type of liquidity pool, and you could supply two different type of stable coins like USDN and USDT. So US dollar neutrino and US dollar tether, and you could supply both those coins. And then the beauty of the liquidity pools is whenever anybody does some type of swap, there's a transaction fee, and you get a percentage of that transaction fee in proportion to the amount of liquidity that you provided to that pool. So there's all types of ways to make passive income with crypto. So you don't have to just sit around and trade, or you don't just have to just hodl and hold and just sit there and wait for something to appreciate in value. I mean, there's yield farming, there's liquidity, providing liquidity and liquidity pools. So there's a bunch of different ways you can make passive income, and liquidity pools are one of those ways. I'm just, one, not rich enough, and two, not good enough at that type of stuff. So anyway, so you can get this Keeper wallet right here on the Google Chrome store. There's, I believe, a link to it on the Waves website. And I would go more into the enterprise stuff, but I don't understand enough about it. And then the gravity portion of it here. I kind of explained it in a way. It's kind of an agnostic Oracle system, and kind of an overledger, I guess, in order to create different blockchains, kind of a cross-chain gateway or bridge. So you can have two different types of blockchains interact with each other. So I don't know what I would do with this personally yet, just because I'm not deeply involved in some of this stuff, and my company and my work does not involve anything like this. But it's there for you if you want it. Another thing I forgot too is you can easily create your own token on the Waves blockchain. So if you are a company or a person, or say I wanted to create the Eureka token for the Eureka Street Crypto Hub, I could go ahead and let's see here. Investments. No. So this is staking. Here's all the investment products on here. Buy crypto. No. Where was it? Man. Okay, create asset right here. Okay, so if I wanted to create my own cryptocurrency, and anybody can do this, I'd say I'll call it the Eureka. All right. So, and you cannot change the description later, and then you say reissuable, not reissuable, and then all that stuff. So you can, it basically creates a smart contract for you on top of the Waves blockchain. It doesn't require coding. It doesn't require knowledge of RIDE language or Solidity like on Ethereum or anything like that. It just is a few clicks and you've created your own currency. So, I mean, it could be great. It could be dangerous. Here's the Waves. Let's see here. Let's see, there is a token rating. So right here you can see all these different Waves tokens. There's 121 different pages of it. I mean, there's the price in Waves, price in dollars for each of these tokens. I mean, it's just so much stuff. I mean, so many different tokens. I'm not going to create a worthless token just because I want to create a worthless token. But you can if you want. It's right there. And if you want your company store to trade in your company currency, all right, maybe you can use that as an incentive for your employees to do specific things and certain tasks and to earn your company token. And then they can spend it in the company store as kind of a rewards program. I don't know. But it's a real easy way to create your own token on the Waves blockchain, and might be a great tool to help teach your employees or anybody that you know about blockchain technology, and then have them set up a wallet or teach them how to set up a wallet and just kind of learn the ropes. Always a great teaching moment and teaching tool. So, here's also a bunch of different oracles. I'm not even going to get into that right now. But you can create your own oracle as well. It's a lot of stuff, man. Just go poke through it yourself. Go to the Waves protocol Twitter. They have a Waves protocol Telegram. They're all pretty active. Yeah, figure it out for yourself. It's just another platform on Web 3.0, and just stuff is constantly developing. This Waves Tech and Waves Protocol project just seems to be constantly coming out with new stuff, and I'm definitely gonna keep up and learn more about them. Anyway, thanks for bearing with me on my kind of fumbling attempt at trying to get through talking about Waves Protocol, but yeah, it's been pretty interesting. Yeah, I can say I'm a fan. Yeah. So yeah, all right. You guys have a good evening, and let me know in the comments what you think about all this stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot to actually even just look at the price of Waves real quick. It is $6.12. It's as all the blockchain cryptos right now. All the cryptos right now is everything's kind of down, but everything's going right back up after the whole retracement. So don't fear, this happens. It's just another day in crypto. It just happens. Everything will go back up. I'm pretty sure of it. So yeah, y'all have a good night. Hit a thumbs up. Help out the algorithm if you like what I'm doing. Give me a shout out on my Twitter, EurekaJohn1. And yeah, talk to you.